Hello, everyone. So super nervous, super excited, though, to present on recording presentations using OBS and YouTube. It's a cool way to put yourself on YouTube. It's a cool way to educate others, and I'm kind of going to do that now to show everyone from start to finish to install to YouTube how to do OBS and take that recording and put it on YouTube. Ooh, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's for later. Go ahead and exit out of that. So I have instructions actually on how to get started. I want to go over some system requirements for OBS. This is OBS setup and settings. And so OBS is available on Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's amazing. It's on all three. It works well on all three. It does require DirectX 10 compatible integrated graphics. And so it's a more modern CPU type thing. And so like that basically is like Intel i5 2000 series or higher. It uses OpenGPL on Linux. And so I had an old laptop I actually couldn't use because it was a Core 2 Duo laptop and it's just too old. And so that's almost kind of, it's not really, I use it for open source development, so I will still use it, but this laptop does OBS quite well. Like a little Joe's system recommendations. It's hard to find hard specific requirements for OBS online, but basically new's better than old, kind of a given. Gaming or business laptop is generally better because of the heat sinks than an Ultrabook. And so this is an Ultrabook, so if I were to play, you know, Battlefield 1 and do OBS at the same time, this one's going to be screaming, just, it's like, as it tries to cool it down, which is really kind of distracting for the microphone. So if you have a gaming laptop or business laptop, it's better. But for what I'm doing, it's going to be fine because I'm just doing a presentation. And so Mo RAM, Mo better. And so I got a little picture of a RAM there, if you can see it. It is optimized for Windows. And so if you're on Windows, you're in luck. There's a lot of streamers online, a lot of people recording content online that are on Windows, and you get quite a bit less CPU usage on Windows. And Linux is getting better every day, and it's developed for all of them. So pre-setup, you want to change your resolution to 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720, basically the HD resolutions. And the reason I say that, I'm currently on 720. This is a 4K monitor on this laptop, and for OBS to have to scale from 4K to 1080 or 720 on the fly is a little bit too intensive for it. And so the CPU, unless you're on a gaming laptop or a business laptop that has a, you know, like a good heat sink, then it's going to struggle a little bit. So I like 720 because if you're doing a presentation, if you're showing Windows like I'm going to be showing you, it's going to be easier to see. So the first thing we need to do is download OBS. We're going to do this live, guys. Click on Windows. And so this is a 64-bit installer, which is what you want to do most of the time. Here's 32-bit. We're going to do the 64. It's going to download it. Oh! That's not too bad. But I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to cheat. I already have OBS downloaded. Should. Right there. Yes. All right. So missing components. What those components are talking about real quick is it wants you to have the Visual Studio C++ library included. And so if you don't already have that installed, I uninstalled it before the presentation, then it will trigger that message. So let's go ahead and install them. So that should be pretty quick. Did that work? Oh yeah, so I need to click here. There we go. That's a lot faster. It's much smaller. Open that bad boy up. And if you've already been using OBS, this might sound a little bit too involved, but I do want to have basically a presentation that covers the whole aspect of it. So setup successful. All right. And so I think I'm going to run the exe again. There we go. I agree. We're going to install it to Program Files OBS Studio. Browser source, that's a good one to have. All right, let's go ahead and install it. So basically just next. All right, we're going to launch OBS Studio. Okay, we're in. Ooh, I kept all my settings. Okay, hold on, give me 1 second. And I'm going to actually, Projects Joe, app data, roaming. I'm going to actually start completely fresh here for the benefit of learning. It's going to take 1 second. So quit out of OBS, delete my, this is in Joe, app data, roaming. My name is Joe, by the way. I think we covered that. All right, and so open up OBS Studio again. All right, now we're starting fresh. And so here's a license agreement. It's saying it has the GNU General Public License, which is a very good thing. We'll go over that a little later. That means it's open source. Anyone can contribute to it. All right. And then it pops up, would you like to run the auto configuration wizard? Yes, I would. It's kind of a sanity check, hit yes. And so it says optimize for streaming, recording, and secondary. That's if you are going to be streaming, that's a good way to do that. If you do this option, see if I can go next. Next again? Yeah, it's going to want you to enter your stream key. You can change your streaming service here. But we're not going to go into that. We're just going to do optimize for recording. I will not be streaming. You can always run the wizard again. All right, and so the base canvas resolution, if I was on 1080p, I'd want to select 1080p from here. Since I am on 720p, then I want to use 720 as my canvas. The canvas is basically where you're going to put all of your webcam and Twitter information, for example. So frames per second, I go with 30. 30 is plenty for a demonstration. 30 is plenty for Twitch if you want to stream to Twitch. 60 is kind of a little extreme. It requires a lot more processing. It also requires a lot more bandwidth if you're streaming. I do 30. Hit next, apply settings, and we're almost good to go. So we installed Visual Studio. Basically, OBS redirected us to their site. We downloaded the file, we installed it, we restarted the installation, that worked. All right, one thing I do want to point out is, so once you start working with OBS, you may notice things are not working correctly. This is a quick kind of like gotcha. If you have NVIDIA graphics on your card, you might need to check your settings, and we're going to go through that real quick. So I'm going to hit the Windows key, do Control Panel. I'm going to go to Hardware and Sound, and then NVIDIA Control Panel. And so once this pops up, it's going to allow me to go over to Program Settings over here. And it should automatically pull it up since I'm using it. Yep. And so the Open Broadcaster software is open. And sometimes it's set to high-performance NVIDIA processor. We want to make sure it's on integrated graphics, and that's all you got to do. It was already set to integrated graphics. I'll go ahead and apply. I don't know if that's going to mess anything up. All right, we're good. And that'll make sure everything runs smoothly. All right. So let's see what's next. We did the auto configuration wizard. By the way, to get back to that, you just go to Tools, auto configuration wizard, and you can set up streaming later. They do have an auto configuration wizard, and thankfully they do because OBS settings can get intense, very intense. All right, so we set the canvas, we set 30 frames per second. We need to set the record path. I do recommend that. To do that, you go to File, Settings, and we go down to Outputs. And then we do recording path, and it's set to Joe, or C, users, Joe, videos. That's a good spot, so I'm gonna leave it. But it's good to do that just to make sure the videos are going to where you expect. Hello, hello. Just getting started. We basically installed OBS at this point and doing very basic settings. All right. And so let's add a background. I add a background just so you have a good contrast. And so here we have a scene. The default scene name is scene. And we want to start adding sources. So I need to resize this so we can see it better. All right. And so here are the sources. We want to add a new source. And that new source is going to be image. Let's go ahead and name it. Oh, it's good to name things. So we're going to name this background. And that way the source has a name that makes sense. I'm going to browse for background, go to OBS. I have this cool little circuit board background. I'm going to click OK. And oh, you can see that it's not scaled well. And so the simple way to get that, because this is a 1080p image or greater, I think, is you can actually just move it like that. A little laborious, but that's what I'm basically going to do right there. And so that's the new background. All right, and so we want to add a webcam, get into the juicy juice. And so this is what the advantage of OBS over other screen recording software is you actually do the webcam. So we're going to do video capture device, and we're going to call this internal webcam. Awesome. There we go. Hello. Howdy do. Add that in there. That's huge. I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to do it the same way I did that. Pop it over here, and bam. This works in a pinch. I don't recommend it. I do recommend getting a dedicated webcam. And that's what this is here. I don't know if I can show it here. I might show it better, but there you go. I can do this all in. So this is a Logitech webcam. I don't remember the model number, but it's like a transformer. Oh, you can like unfold it, turn it around, and then it has like a little hook here. It's kind of like the PlayStation camera, if you've ever seen those. And then it just basically hooks onto the monitor like that. I'm going to cover the existing webcam because we're no longer going to use it. But what I really like about these is it's kind of an all-in-one streaming booster. And the main advantage for me is that it puts the microphone further away from the fan on the computer, further away from the keyboard on the computer, and it makes for clearer audio. The picture, I think, is a little bit better, but it depends on your computer. But if you have an older computer, it definitely can help. You plug it in. And so I've already plugged it in, but Windows will normally be like installing drivers. And once that's done, we're going to remove this webcam. And the webcam disappeared just because I put the other webcam on top of it. So we're going to do a video capture device again. We're going to call this a Logitech webcam. There we go. Bam-biddy-bam. There I am. Adjust the camera a bit. My handsome devil. All right, click OK. And this looks kind of boring. Honestly, the square has been done. Square has been done. And so I'm going to guess this is a 4:3 ratio, and we're going to create our first mask, guys. OBS is all about masks. And so I think that's the next step. Create and add a mask. So here's better to use a dedicated webcam and mic. Let's make a mask. And so I'm just going to jump right into it. It's kind of hard to explain, but masking is basically setting up an image to allow you to crop another image to almost any shape. And so we're going to go straight to Paint. Be better to use Photoshop, GIMP, Krita, anything like that over Paint, but I love Paint, you know. Goes back to the Windows 95. Or was it 98? I don't remember. All right, so let's go and resize it. I'm going to do pixels. I'm going to do 640 by 480. Oh yeah, maintain aspect ratio. Let's get out of there. Get out of there. 640 by 480. All right, and then I'm going to click back on maintain aspect ratio. Nope. God, I had to click OK. Live demonstration. Click OK. I recommend going bigger. And the reason, so now it's set back to percent. I'm going to go 200%, make it bigger. And that's because the pixels are going to be sharper here in a second. Let me make it a lot smaller by going down to the zoom over here. All right, and so we're going to do something cute. We're going to do a little, I played around with this. I really like Paint because you have these free shapes here. I say free, everything should be free, but. So here we got this shape, and I am going to set it to solid fill. Outline, no outline, we don't want to outline. And then we're going to take the shape, and we're going to drag it. It should be white. Yay, it's white. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill the screen with it. Boop. Okay. And make sure it's centered. Also want to make sure it's kind of a circle. Okay. Good enough. Definition of done right there. I'm going to save as. It's going to be a PNG. Spoiler alert. Another mask up there. All right. So PNG, and we're going to call it, bubble mask OBS. No, what is that? What is this thought bubble? Be more specific. Thought bubble. I'm in the weeds. Let's get out of the weeds. All right, save. Okay. And so we've got the Logitech webcam here, and we want to apply that mask. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click on this. I'm going to go to Filters. And at these resolutions, you're fighting with OBS a little bit on what the windows are doing. So I'm going to move this down. You'll see me do this a lot. So that gives me access to edit filters. I want to add a filter. And we want to do Image Mask Blend. We're going to call this Thought Bubble, just so we know what it is. Okay. We're there. All right. We want to select the path of the mask. Browse. I already have it set up. It's in this OBS folder right here that I set up. Click it. And bada bing, bada boom. Webcam is a thought bubble now. All right. Also, it's pretty good right now. I wanted to show you a little trick. And this, I think I did mark this down. So you can crop and pad, which is another filter you can apply to zoom the webcam image. So when you do a webcam, sometimes it'll appear far away, especially on ones built into the computer. So we're just going to do that right now. We're going to do crop pad. Pretty easy. I'm going to call this zoom instead of crop pad so we know what it's doing. All right. And this is just simply adding numbers to all of them. And so I'm going to do 15, 15, 15, 15. Oh, no, we got some clipping up here. That's not great. So the more numbers you do, the more it zooms. So all we have to do is move zoom above this, and then we have a perfectly zoomed webcam image. It doesn't look like we need zoom. We're going to get rid of it. Close that. All right. And so I'm a big fan of making sure contrasts are great. The contrast around the rim is not very good. We're going to make a border, and we're going to make a border using the same mask we just used. So we're going to add an image. We're going to call this webcam border. And this is kind of a hacky way to do it, but we'll do it real quick. Put the thought bubble back in there. Awesome. Click OK. All right, and then we need to apply some filters to this to make it just a solid white circle. So filters. Oh yeah, scroll down. Move it back up. And then we're going to apply the color key filter. So do this, color key. There you go. I could have named that better. But anyways, we'll do custom color. We're going to do black. All right, now we just have basically a white box in the same shape. I'm going to change the color just a little bit. Oh, whoa, no, wrong color. Forgot about that. Okay. I want to change the color of it just a little bit because there's going to be a white presentation, so it's just going to disappear. So I'm going to do color correction. I think I want to do that afterwards, so I moved it up. Select color, gray. All right, and then is it brightness? What's going on here? Oh, yeah. Boop. Okay. Brightness? Yeah, so color correction needs to be below. So we're making it a little bit more gray. I'm actually using saturation here. I think it'll get it closer to the color it says. Anyways, now all we're going to do is not that at all. So that'll happen a lot, and how I get around that is I will lock it down. You're locked down now. You can't move. All right. And this is just kind of a cheeky way to do a border, but it allows you to so I'm going to put the webcam above it. And then I want to link these together. So I'm going to click this, move this up, move it there. I'm going to lock these together by right-clicking and then hit, where is it at? Group selected items. And now we have a webcam and a border. Hooray. I think it makes it look more professional, for sure. All right, moving on. So the next step, I know this is a little bit laborious, guys, but it does help add a little professionalism, and it kind of shows you how to use masks and some other key elements. We're going to create some Twitter art. Let's add that. We're going to do an image first. We're going to call it Twitter logo. I got this logo off the Twitter site. You can download assets from them. This is the round social media icon. Open that. All right, pretty big. We're going to make it smaller. A lot smaller. Oh, that big's good. Put it down here. All right, and then we're going to make a, my Twitter tag is @JoeMatthewsOKC. We're going to do that now. And this next step, so we're gonna add text. We're gonna change the font size to be huge, and that way we get sharper edges. And then we'll scale it down. And then we're gonna add an outline, which is really only available in Windows. I tried testing it, and it might work on Mac, but it doesn't work on Linux yet. You might need to add something to it to make it work. To explain what's going on there, I'm just gonna call this @JoeMatthews OKC. I think I spelled that right. I'm also going to copy that. I'm about to type it again. We've got text, select font. I'm just going to do 72, so it makes it sharper. All right, I think Arial's fine. Go fancy if you want. And so don't need to change anything here. I think the color's fine for right now. The background color, I think that's fine. It's just clear. And so what we want is, alignment. Go back. Was it left? Okay. Outline, we're going to click that. And then we're going to change the color. I need to kind of find the Twitter logo. So we're going to change the outline color, and we're going to make it the same as the Twitter logo. So how I did that again is I select color on outline. So outline color, select color, pick color, and then I just do it again. Just hover over the Twitter, kind of like right in the middle. Bada bing, bada boom. And then, so here it is. It doesn't look that great. So let's increase the outline. Let's do 5. Nope, let's do more, 10. Let's go more, 30. Oh, 30. Will not let me do 30? Rip off. 20 is the highest. 20 is enough, though. That looks good. Kind of looks like a Redbubble sticker, if you ever bought those. I gave that analogy earlier. Crickets. I like Redbubble. All right. So we're going to resize this. Bada bing, bada boom. This will look a lot sharper on YouTube. It's scaling down the image. And then I'm hitting Control. So it's wanting to snap this thing. So it'll snap everywhere. But I want it to be in the middle of the Twitter logo. So I'm going to hold Control and kind of just wing it. And then I'm going to join these two together. So how I do that is you can either do it here or on the screen itself. Hit Control on both of them. So like Control click, right click, and then already lost it. Can I not put these together? Group? Let's try it over here. Twitter logo, do it. Group selected items. Okay, I guess you have to do it over here. Now these are together. Now you can scale them. They'll scale together. It's your own personal logo. You could make this in GIMP and Photoshop and Krita and have a transparent background and have the same effect. This is just kind of a way to do it in text and also to show you how text works. Anyways, so I think we're about done. We need to add one more source, which is the big one, which is to record the screen. And so we don't need to hide the background. It's going to be in memory anyway. So we're just going to do plus. And then we're going to do display capture. I did want to point out one other capture, which is a good one, Windows capture. Let's go over that first. We're not going to use it. So Windows capture, I'm going to call it Chrome only. And this is a good way to kind of keep your privacy. You know, I think I closed everything before I came up here, but if you're alt-tabbing and there's like messaging conversations up or whatever, then they're going to see it. But this can be the window only that you're looking at. So do Chrome only. And then that looks like a lot of gobbledygook. So we need to find Chrome. Eventually found it here. And sometimes you'll see more than one .exe. Look for the one that has the title you want. Oh no, why is that not working? Oh, I know why it's not working. God. I don't know why that's not working. I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that later. Hold on, let me check a setting. Settings. I don't think this will have anything to do with it. Oh, okay. So I'll show you where I went. Went to File, Settings, went to Output, and here you have an encoder setting. So this is under Recording, an encoder. This actually needs to be software. It actually can be hardware, VENC. Not a lot of gamers use that. It's probably 10-20% faster on your computer, but I got an error that I needed to update the drivers, and so I'm just going to use software. And I don't have an OK button, so I'm going to scroll it down, click Apply, click OK. I don't know if that's why I'm not seeing that, so let me try. Getting a little nervous. Get rid of Chrome only. I'm going to just do straight to display capture. But that's how you would capture just one window. Hopefully this works. Every window. Oh no, it's the Inception. And so this is kind of the most awful thing to see. And you'll see it a lot in almost every OBS. Like if someone switches back to OBS while they're streaming, you'll see this. It's kind of disorienting, but it's just showing a mirror effect because it is recording within recording. So we just click OK. Really annoying. We want to get out of here as soon as we can. What happened to all our stuff? It's actually, this floated the window to the top, and so we need to, on the sources list, move this down. So click the down arrow, and stuff starts popping back up. Oh, too far. All right. Is that exciting, guys? So far, so good? All right. So we'll get into the meat and potatoes a little bit. And so the presentation itself is to go full on. We're going to set up OBS, which we just did. We're going to record a presentation, which is going to be pretty short. And then we're going to upload that to YouTube. And I might do another talk later where I go advanced OBS stuff as I learn more. But we do have some bonus things at the end to keep in mind. Not going to do the browser one, but basically we are going to add Spotify. So we're going to add album art to OBS, and I'll show you how to do that using masks. Getting back to the good stuff. And so I'm going to start the recording. And no errors, which is good. And so it shows stop recording now. And so we're going to go back to Chrome. Did not mean to close it all the way down, I don't think. Go back to my slides. Here's the presentation you saw before. This is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. This is kind of meant to be fast. And the main content of what you're learning is supposed to be in the actual demonstration itself. And so here we go, recording presentations using OBS and YouTube. And so what is OBS? OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software. It's created by Hugh, Jim Bailey, and many contributors. A lot of people have helped out on this. The first release was in September 2012. There's presets for streaming to Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and others. It's open source software. So that means anyone can contribute to it, anyone can make it better. It's probably going to be free forever. And it's licensed to GNU GPL v2. That's a general public license. And that means that if anyone improves it, they have to contribute the code back to the main repository and make that code available. Or they don't have to contribute back, they have to make it available. So that's a really good thing. It's community-driven software. And it is the #1 software for streaming. It's also very popular for recording screens because of the ability to add webcams and control audio and just the amount of settings you can do. You can control everything on it. I was telling other people, if you can see it on your computer, you can put it on your stream. So that alternatives to OBS, a little troll move here, they probably have 99% market share and they don't charge a dime. And so I wouldn't recommend using anything else. I'm not going to tell you to use anything else. I'm not even going to mention names. That's because that's how much I love OBS. I showed you a little bit with masks. You can do a lot with masks, and you can do a lot with browser integration too. That's how you get the magical pop up on the screens when you're watching Twitch. Won't get to that, but I will show you how to use masks to get Spotify on there using non-copyrighted music, of course. Right, Kimberly? Right. All right. And so this is going on YouTube, but this is going on YouTube after what we're actually recording right now. So it's a little bit of recording inception. So my detailed OBS setup presentation for OBS, oh man, I've repeated OBS twice, that's embarrassing, is coming soon to YouTube. The presentation is actually created right now during that presentation from the future. That's a little hard to explain, but everything you're seeing me doing right now is going to be the second video in the series. We're about to upload the first, which is this presentation that I hit start recording on. I created a logo for part 2 because, like Back to the Future, Marty McFly is visiting himself at the dance. It's pretty cool. So what is YouTube? I know what YouTube is, everyone's saying. Why is YouTube important? But why record presentations? Why add content? For me personally, it's kind of a personal thing. YouTube has been very powerful for me. I've learned Excel, I've learned programming, I've learned a lot of things that you would expect me to learn in my profession. But also I learned how to stain concrete in my new house. I learned how to repair a leaky bathtub. I didn't think I could do that. I learned how to paint a house the right way. You actually have to clean it with soap. That way the paint doesn't peel off. It's on there hardcore now. And etc. I've learned a lot of things. I don't necessarily think I could do better videos than that. What I can do is do programming videos. I can do OBS videos, and this is kind of my first video to YouTube. Promote yourself. Show what you're good at, what you've made. Show your communication skills to your new employer. Show what you're worth to a little bit. Give back. That's the kind of thing. It's like I can't do a lot of videos, but I can do an OBS video. And also learn better. So this is kind of like the last minute ad here, but it's important. Me doing this, like I would consider myself like a mid-tier wizard as far as OBS goes. I think I could figure out a lot of things using masks and using web to get almost anything to work. But just making this presentation, I had to kind of re-clarify some conceptions. I had some misconceptions. Things didn't work as I expected them to. So putting this all together, I learned OBS better. And so putting a presentation together alone may help you learn it better. And of course, since this is being seen on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe, please. All right, that's the last slide from there. I'm going to go and click back off, hit stop recording. All right, and so what's next? So we recorded, we clicked the start recording button, do the presentation, click the stop recording button. I wanted to add one more thing because I'm all about being transparent about hangups. Here, let's get rid of this inception thing going on there. It's really trippy. All right, so if we go to settings, and so if you try to do start recording and you get an error, the error might be caused by what I checked earlier. So if you go to output, go to encoder, you might try software encoder because the error might be about NVENC. What does that say? NVENC. All right. So what's the next step? All right, let's upload it to YouTube. Sounds reasonable. All right, let me close this out. We're going to go to YouTube.com. And I did a teaser video before. I actually did a lot of teaser videos. Only one got chosen. I'm going to go to my channel. I'm very new to YouTube and uploading videos, so I just do YouTube Studio over here on the right. There's probably people in here that are masters at YouTube, and let's talk. Let's connect. And then, dashboard? No? Videos? Plus? Uploads? Oh man, so before I just had a big old fat upload new video. If anyone wants to bail me out, how do I upload a new video? What, right here? Yeah. Let's do it. Yes. The icon was obvious. All right, and so I'm just gonna go, nope, I'm gonna do private. That's because we need to trim it. And so I set it to go to videos. Oh, so many videos. I'm gonna sort by date real quick. 237, that's about right. Open. All right, title. Ooh. So, recording presentations with OBS and, I'll do a regular hand, YouTube, part 1. All right. Here I give an introduction to YouTube, or to OBS and YouTube. Part 2 will give the details on how I created this presentation. Oh, I think it's done. Oh, processing 95. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click done. All right. So, return to YouTube Studio Beta. Okay. I want to go to click on one of my videos. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Click on this. There we go. Editor. So editor allows you to trim the beginning and the end of a video. And we're going to do that to make this a little bit more professional. And here you can zoom to get more of a timeline, so you can fine tune it a little bit better. So oh, we have to hit trim. So let's hit trim. Right about here, I think. Okay. And then, did it automatically trim it? What happened here? Do I need to scroll? Oh, let's zoom out. Okay. There we go. All right. Trim, split, cancel. I would expect me to do a preview. Oh.
From there, I'm going to go click back off. It's stop recording.
Okay. Why is this not working? Anyone know? Any professionals? Oh, because I didn't do any trimming. Oh, okay. I swear I did. Okay. I think that's about good right there. Okay. Preview. And we're going to listen to this
YouTube
again. I'm joking.
So what is OBS?
Did that really just happen? What happened?
Recording presentations using OBS and YouTube. Recording presentations using OBS and YouTube.
Looks good.
So what is OBS? OBS stands for Open Broadcaster Software, created by Hugh, Jim Bailey, and many contributors. A lot of people have helped.
I think I can leave. Okay. So that's going to cook. And that is basically how to do all of what I promised to do on that presentation. And so with that, you can record almost anything. You could play a video in the background, record yourself commentating on that. A lot of stuff you can do, including gaming. And so if you want to do gaming, the only real difference is you plug in a Twitch key into OBS settings, go through that, the getting started, it's not tutorial, but section, add the Twitch key. That almost concludes my presentation. I wanted to show you Spotify. I'll need to show you using browser stuff later. So browser stuff is the real powerful stuff, but one thing I ran into, I was telling some as they walked into the presentation here, I wanted to be a Counter-Strike star. You know, I wanted to kill nubs on the internets and do it on Twitch. So I learned a lot of OBS to do good production value for that. And one of the things I really wanted was to add a Spotify like album art and song playing to the stream. I'm sure there's ways to do that are very hacky using APIs and stuff like that. But I did find a way to use, along the principles of you can see it, you can add it. And so I created a mask for Spotify. And so, whoop, not that mask. So if I open up Spotify here, all right. And one thing I did to try to find good music to play, because if you play music just as a normal user, they will mute your entire broadcast that's recorded. And also, I think you're held to a higher standard if you're an educational source. They might send you a message, be like, don't do that. And so they're basically looking for copyrighted music. I think it's very much a slap on the wrist now, but it's always good to just not mess with it. And so I type in Twitch FM here, and that brings up this profile. I don't know if it's official or not, but it does have, I've seen this before, the No Copyright Sounds, which is a group that puts out music for people, and anyone can play it. And so most of the album art's the same, which is unfortunate. See if we can find one that's different. I don't think it's actually changing. Anyways, let's try Starbound.
Wait a minute!
I think they're all the same. Oh, there's one. Yay. Okay. And so I wanted to show you the changing of artwork. So I wanted to basically get this out of Spotify and put it into my Twitch or into my OBS. You can do this during a presentation if you wanted to, that you just record and not stream. And so we'll leave this chill music playing in the background. We'll turn it down a little bit. That's good. All right. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a mask. And so hopefully this will work. It was a little finicky earlier. We're going to do window capture again. We're going to name this Spotify. Okay. And then we're going to go down and choose Spotify. So here we go. Lars M. Over. I think that's the song that's playing. Choose that. Yay, it popped up. So I want to grab this. And so what I actually did, let's go ahead and add that. That's just going to pop over. It is 720p, so it takes up the full screen. And so it's up here at the top. I want to do filters. Turn that down just a little bit more. I like EDM, but it's very distracting. All right. And so we're going to add a filter. We're going to add a mask again, just like we did for the webcam. All right, and to show you what this mask is, I made this in Paint as well to make sure I can do it. But basically, I took a screenshot. I'll just do it right now. Screenshot, and then Paint. I'm not going to actually do the mask because it's going to be a little challenging. So paste this in here, and basically, I added a white box. Said I'm not going to do it, but here it goes. And then I just went over it with the white box. All right. And then I colored all this black to show you real quick how that happened, but I zoomed in to try to make it pixel perfect as I can because I'm kind of anal like that. I colored everything black around it. So just double click, make sure it's like that's not really black, that sort of thing. And then you just take this black thing. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm actually doing it. So. All right. So, oh my gosh, I clicked you. Why won't that work? Is it because I'm selected? Why does it hate me? Well, anyways, you change it to black as the box, and you just highlight it all to get it all out of there. You also have to remove this bottom bar because it does not include an OBS. So all I did was drag that up. There you go. Think of all this black, and that turns into this is a 720p basically OBS mask for Spotify that I created. Brags on me. And so we go browse, click that, and then all we get's the album artwork. Click close, and we go drag that to the side over here. And just to show you, I'm going to use my keyboard to change album. And so if I do, for me, I have to function the next song. It changes the album and it shows who's playing below. And that'll look a lot sharper on stream. All right. And so, did I close my presentation? And so that, I think, concludes my presentation on how to use OBS to record your presentation and upload it to YouTube. I'd like to go more in depth on certain topics. It gets pretty technical at some point, but I'd be very curious to hear what you all think. You can do Joe Matthews OKC on Twitter. Let me know what you'd like to try, and I can maybe figure it out with you. Other than that, any questions? Any? Hey. Can people share filters? So you're talking about taking like that Spotify and kind of exporting that? And so one way to do that, and this is new, I believe it's new, or else I missed it the first time, is if I wanted to extract all of this, I'm kind of doing this live with you because I just found out about it. If you do tools, oh, hey, calm down now. Calm down. But if you do tools, and then you do, not tools, scene, there we go, scene collection. And then we have a untitled, can I do save as? I can't do save as, why is it untitled if you can't save it? I guess you can do new and then you name it. But anyway, so I'm on untitled right now, I do export. And then I put that anywhere I want, I'm gonna put it in OBS, already did it right here. I can call this presentation scenes. Okay, save. Let's go see what that looks like though. Presentation scenes, open with code. All right, and so that's what this looks like. It looks very editable, which is amazing. And so I'm pretty sure if you were to send this to a friend, all they would have to do is have all the files that are in the same folder. It might need to, I don't know. You'd have to check it out. Yeah, so it's hard coding this. And so you'd have to go through and kind of change it. But it's more of a backup for yourself. And these OBS profiles are kind of what makes streamers money. So there's not much sharing going on in general, but as far as I've seen. But I guess that is an awesome new feature because that wasn't possible. It might have been in settings like deep buried in, and I just didn't know where it was. But that export option's there and you can back that up because you can spend hours, days doing that. And then OBS might crap out on you one day, but it's nice to have that backup. It's never, ever deleted a config file on me, though, unlike other broadcasting software I've heard about. And so, did I answer your question? All right. Anyone else? Ooh, tough question. The best I understand it, and if anyone is like an engineer, raise your hand, hurry, damn. And so video bitrate, I know that it's 3,000 recommended by Twitch for 1080p. I think it's 2,000 or 2,200 for 720p. And so it's currently set at 25, which would be a great 720p stream. The best I know, it uses FLV, but I did not look that up. Let's look up what that means. It's Flash Live Video, FLV format. And what this allows, what this allows is Twitch to get your content, and also we recorded it. It's the same format we recorded and uploaded to YouTube. It allows Twitch to get your content without letting it finish recording. And so it's getting it at a 2,500 bit rate, and it's allowing everyone to view that at the moment it hits Twitch servers, everyone can access your content. It's a very kind of efficient way to get that out there. And so I do know the recommended, does it say what it stands for? Flash video, all right. FL, okay, yeah, the L is the F, the L in Flash. But Twitch recommended bitrate. I will speak from personal experience. Do not cheap out on a router. Don't do it. I got the best of the best. It's like advertisement. I think it's 3,200 ACM. Yeah. This boy is mean. I would consider it the best. They have one that's set up just for Xbox, but I would consider this one the best router you can buy. I got it for $150 refurbished from Walmart. You can put open source software on it to make it do whatever you want. And I wouldn't recommend that because, well, I would recommend it. You just might not have a router for a while. But it's really, but yeah, so it uses OpenWRT for that. And this will help your stream the most. It handles the bit rate and makes sure you don't do packet losses during that bit rate when you're transferring it. I've had a lot of issues on Twitch. I traced the cable back and it was the router. And I hate to say just buy more money, but spend more money. But as long as we're in our current standard, AC standard, I guess, for Wi-Fi, this is going to be their best router until we move to something new. Question? Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But even if you do that, that's a good point. What was the question? Repeat the question. Oh, man. Thank you, Austin. The question was, the question before that was, I think, just general questions about explaining bitrate. I'm not an engineer, I don't know. The second question was, could you not just connect directly in the router? And that is correct. And so I got a little bit off on a tangent right there. I love OpenWRT. I kind of sprung off on that. Some routers have 100 megabyte connections, and some have gigabit connections. And even if you have gigabit, it's still being processed. And so the more memory that router has, the more processing power that has. Like this is a LAN party router for probably like 10 people. You could, I think on most any router, you're right, just connect directly and stream while everyone else, because it's mainly about upload, but you can stream while everyone else is doing normal stuff on the internet. So that's a very good question. Wi-Fi though, the bigger the router, the better the router, the better, but you should be connected directly. I didn't mean for this to be a stream to Twitch talk. Techlahoma does stream to Twitch too, so it is very relevant to OBS. This is mainly about the recording the presentation part. Any other questions? No? Can always talk afterwards. I really like this because I'll use this YouTube video to show my son so he can jump in and get started with OBS and Twitch pretty soon. And I meant to kind of do this for him. I think Kimberly is really good at making me collect my thoughts and learn. So kind of learn, walk the walk type of thing, and that's kind of what I did for her. All right. Thank you all, and I'll be here for a little bit to answer questions. Thank you. All right, you going?